Hi guys, this is Bella Forte here, and I'm going to do a tutorial on how to create mockups right in the browser. This is for the Wordpress Nigeria Group, and sorry, this was meant to be a while back. Sorry, it's just coming in. We're going to be doing our meetup on June 10, so I think it's a good introductory tutorial before we go ahead to trying to build WordPress websites from scratch. It's good to know how to create mockups. So that is why this has to come first. So let's get started. Okay, so what is a mockup? A website mockup is a static visual design draft of a website. You can read the rest. Basically, what a mockup is when you want to do a website, especially if you're doing it not for yourself but for a client, they would like to see a visual representation of what you're going to do before you even start coding, you know, or before you go way into it, maybe before you develop all the functionality and all the graphics and everything, they'll want to see something. So that is what a mockup is. It's like a draft, of what the website is going to be. It helps visualize the website. So there are several fidelities of mockups. You have low fidelity, which could be just sketch on a paper or using some tools, and you have high fidelity, which is really interactive. They can see all the colors and everything. The style guide is in and everything. They can interact with the mockup, like it's kind of like a prototype. So we would do a mockup, but okay, before I go there, let's talk about what are the methods of creating a mockup. Well, we have prototyping tools, of course. Proto.io, Balsamic, UXPin. I personally have used Proto.io and Balsamic. And they're pretty cool. You can just drag and drop, move things around, and play around with components and just see what it looks like at the end of the day before you start coding. You also have graphic design tools: Photoshop, Illustrator, Sketch. Then right, Sketch is also a very big one. Um, I get a lot of PSD to HTML projects, where my clients, as probably they have an in-house design team that have, they've deliberated about what they want their website or app to look like, and they've done it in Photoshop. They send me the PSD, I slice, then I code it up. So it's also a way of creating a mock-up or a prototype, you know, using Photoshop. Illustrator is also used a lot, but I think Photoshop is a lot more common. Then my personal favorite, coding up a prototype with HTML and CSS, which is what I'm going to be talking about today. You know, um, okay. So why do I choose to use HTML and CSS? Why code? For a prototype, which is not the final product. Now the thing is, usually I skip the entire prototyping phase a lot of times. If I'm with a client that I trust and that trusts me, that we already I get a lot of repeat projects sometimes. So in cases like that, we already understand each other. I know what they want. I kind of understand their design philosophy, and I know what they want, and I can give them what they want. So the whole prototyping phase can just be thrown out the window, and I go straight to coding. Now, even developers who like to code straight, still a lot of them still need like a prototype or a mock-up of what they'll be working on. And but I usually don't need that, and I think it comes with experience, and exposing yourself to a lot of wonderful websites out there. You kind of understand what a website, what the layout is meant to be like, and you just go in and start coding, and you have like a mental picture of what you want to do. So you just go in and code straight up, which is how I prefer to do it. Now, the reasons for coding is when you do HTML and CSS and you do it as your prototype or your mockup, you can show the client can interact in the browser, and maybe they say, oh, change this, take this off, take this out. it's closer to the finished product. It's not like when you do in Photoshop, when you've done the entire thing in Photoshop, then you now give it to a developer to start developing. It's I think coding as a method of doing your prototype is faster, in my opinion, and it's closer to the finished product if you know what you're doing. Now, rapid iteration. What I mean by rapid iteration is it's easy to show to make changes, especially if you've done your prototype in your browser and you just go, you're showing your client. I do a lot of work for clients. I never even sit down in the same room with, we just communicate via Skype or something. So if they just say, oh, I don't like the way the footer is, I would like a brighter color, I could just open up my inspect element, edit the color and change it, and they see it and they're like, wow. And sometimes you might be using a tool like ngrok. Ngrok is a tool you can use to broadcast your local host to anybody. So you're developing in your local host and someone else is viewing it like it's on a live server. So if you're using something like that and the client says, and you're doing like a presentation of the prototype and the client says, oh, I don't like the way this is looking, you just quickly make the changes on your local host, save, tell them to refresh, and they see it. It's quite neat. Um, and the biggest one for me, which is I think why I chose this path, is it improves your coding skills. Now, we all know how many themes and templates are out there that you can just pick up and use. Now, for beginners, our advice, you don't go that route because um, you have to improve your coding skills, not just blunder your way through. If you expose yourself to coding a lot, it makes you think faster. You know how to move things around. Understand your HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. CSS can be a pain. Can be a pain a lot of times. And if you code a lot, especially your front end, one, you can achieve very custom designs that you won't find anywhere else. Not like you'll be going through your site and tomorrow or next tomorrow or next week your client will call you, hey, I saw a site you did for me that looks exactly like one other site I saw, or my friend's site and my site look so similar. That kind of stuff. It's just color that changed. What happened? Especially if your client is paying you a lot of money. And so for that reason, I would say learn to code more, learn to do your custom templates more. And I know there are some themes out there that you can customize like to the max. I don't usually use so much themes. I like to build my own front end myself. 70 to 80% of the time I use themes and templates also. So for the sake of improving your coding skills, it's good to try and build your prototypes in the browser. You could also, if you don't want to pick up, I never wanted to pick up Photoshop skills. I don't know, I just don't have the patience for Photoshop. So I just code in the browser. So it has greatly improved my coding skills in terms of front end development. So that is that. So what do you need to know for this tutorial we're going to do? We'll be doing a little bit of JavaScript here and there, nothing serious. But basically, you need to know HTML and CSS, and I'm going to try my best to show you the ropes. So HTML, CSS is what you really need to know for us to dig in. So let's code. Now, when I start a project, the first thing I do, I'm now, this is totally personalized, it's not any textbook approach, it's my personal process. When I want to do a project, I believe there's this thing they say, good artists innovate or something like that, or good artists create, great artists steal or something. I totally believe that. Now, not literally steal, like go and photocopy somebody's site and make changes. But I believe in seeing what is out there. So let's say I want to do I'm not going to show you any website I've done and show you my process, but for what we're going to do, I'll kind of show you the process. If you check out any site I've done, I usually open like an and I'm never gonna disclose this, but I usually open like maybe as much as 10 different websites. You know, pick out different elements. Oh, I like how these people did their button. I'm going to use it. Oh, I like the way their nav is laid out here. I'm going to use it. Oh, I like the way they laid out this. Oh, I'm going to use it. Oh, I like the way their footer is just very slim. It's not so big. I'm going to use it. Oh, on mobile, I like the hamburger menu they are using. They're using line icons instead of the font or some thick one. Oh, I'm going to use it. That's my own process. So I do a lot of research. I do a lot of research and check out other wonderful sites that I like. And mind you, it's good to also ask your client, what do you want? So if a client tells you, oh, I like this side, I like this side, I like this side, it's in your best interest to do something maybe not too similar, but in that with the same design philosophy as those sites they like. So which is totally my process. So now, since we're going to be doing a portfolio website, I would like to check out some. Um, this is a site I totally love. Icy Parklands, Chocolate City Guy, a very wonderful website. I like us to check. We could also do a Google search for beautiful portfolio websites. Portfolio websites. Um, okay, yeah, sorry, I don't think I mentioned this. We're going to be building a portfolio website, just like a website to show off your portfolio and just about yourself. Something simple. So this is by Icy Parklands. It's a Nigerian, no? Yeah, Nigerian, very beautiful. It was even nominated by awards. This website awards. Very, very beautiful, wonderful site. I saw it on Facebook. So now, basically, when you're building a website, you're trying to tell a story. The first thing you need to have in mind is the story you're trying to tell. That's what totally defines. That is one reason why I don't like using templates. Because when you use a template, you're trying to fit in your content, your story, your everything to someone else's design, and that's not what design is about. Design is about expressing yourself. So I believe you take your story and try to fit it into a particular design. Try to express it with a particular design, not fit it into something that has already been designed. Now, if you see a template that already works with what you have in mind, then fine, go ahead. But it's also good to know how to. So back to this. Meet Parkland's graphic and UI UX designer on a journey to blah 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 blah. You can see it's telling a story. You go down. Okay, this is featured projects. Oh, okay. Okay, so it tells what he does. He's a creative designer. Beautiful interaction there. He's an influencer. He's an optimist. Um, Go down. Shows his featured projects. Um, oh boy, there seems to be a problem with the website. Okay, but you kind of get the idea. Oh, see the menu. Very, very beautiful. So we get the idea. So we're also going to be doing something as simple as this. But we could also check for, you know, I just usually do a Google search, knock myself out, just check what people have done. I could also show you my company's website. I think that'll also be a place to start to get ideas. Okay, Daniel's Tech. Okay. Oh, this is has more of a corporate feel, but it's still part of it. This is a WordPress website. Yay, WordPress. Um, it's also kind of like a portfolio website. This is a slider that expresses what we do. This is, storytelling your story, services, which is very important, clients, which is quite important. Um, and get started. So portfolio, which is where we're interested in. Let's check out this guy. Oh, accept cookies. See the beautiful loader. Very beautiful loader. Okay, so this is the portfolio. You know, just showing the sites that you've done. Pagination. This is WP Page Nav, by the way, for people who know the WordPress plugin. So this is taking forever. Okay, this is complex, but it's good because it gives you an idea of what is possible. It gives you an idea of what is possible. Okay, so I can see the navigation is using a typical navigation. You know, this is projects, beautiful, very very beautiful. I was looking for something simple though. This wants to put me in trouble. It wants to put me in trouble. Okay, so I think we already know in terms of story to tell, we already have an idea. There should be a contact, just like the one I showed you on the My Service. There should be an about section, project section, a contact section. So now, for any site you're building, there has to be some sort of sketch somewhere. You have to sketch, Yeah, you should sketch, just do like a rough sketch of whatever it is. So usually I use a paper and an A4 paper and a pen. That is my own way of doing it. Just A4 paper, pen, make rough sketches, you know. Uh okay, yeah, let me even show you. I don't know if you can see this. I was thinking of what we're going to do and I sketched this out. I don't know, is it visible? Sketch this out. So but let's try and do it in paint. I think that's simple enough. Just a rough sketch of what we're trying to achieve. Okay. So I made sure. Pardon my drawing skills. So I never played with paint when I was young. I know a lot of people did. Okay, that's our browser window. Let's assume we want the normal kind of navigation. Oh, no, that's an just eraser. What is eraser experience on this? Okay, let me go back to the pencil. So let's assume this is our nav. Here we're gonna have a logo. Just that is the logo, and of course our nav will be somewhere here. Each of the links we want. Then we'll have something like a jumbotron, like a big picture. Since this is kind of like a personal website, if you have a logo, you could do that. But I think we should put an image here, and just write some text here. Hi, WordPress developer, and this is my portfolio website. Yeah, this looks good. Alright. Of course, we're gonna make this look better. Nice, pretty font and all. So, this could be your picture. This is just your message. I believe in, you know, first, there's something called above the fold, below the fold. Above the fold is everything a user can see immediately they hit your screen. So above the fold, put a powerful, catchy message. That's my way of doing things. Okay, since this is a portfolio website, next we have this one more like it. I've built story. We are telling a story. I've built then go straight and I'm to my rough sketch. Okay, so this is going to be another section that shows off what we built. Right, we'll have like boxes. Have it circled too. Well, now this is what I call a low fidelity mockup. I'm gonna show your clients this one. You never get paid, but this is just for you. Okay. Yeah. Funny enough, I show clients my sketches, but the thing is, I do it in a way. I make sure I use a ruler and a pen. Like I try to do it properly. I just draw out the screen and I do all that. Especially for clients who are pressurizing you to do a demo without payment. You know, I I don't do demos for clients without payment. Well, once in a while, you might just want to, if you feel this guy is very serious, just has trust issues. That's the least I do. Sketch something out for you and show you what it's going to look like. But I do it neat and properly on an A4 paper with my ruler and it's not so difficult to do. Okay, so I've built this. These are examples of the sites you've built. I hope you built as much as 10. So it's gonna be a slider that will slide. Then okay, we can include the button here to view all. Let's assume this is a button tutorial. There's no button that looks like this. And we could have a client section, right? And just say happy people have built for. So these are the happy people you've built websites for. Then you know usual now. Also, if you build so many like Mary Job, you put your you know like I said, don't show your clients this. So this is just for your eyes only. Of course, if I was doing this paper and biro, I would have been much faster. Okay, so what section next? You could decide to have a footer or not. It's not compulsory. For our site, we are not having footer. We don't want. Okay, we might have, but for the home page, we're not gonna have. So we could do a contact box. The thing is, sometimes people don't have time to start scrolling up and down. Do you understand? So if you can pack as much content into your home page as possible, then fine. Especially a contact me page. It's quite important in my own opinion. If you have an office address, so we could just do like a simple form. Thank God for WordPress. We could have used contact. We would use contact form 7 if this was a WordPress website. Do a simple form. That they can send to. So we could say here will be a form. Then we could say here we could do something like this and make this guys different colors. And you could do your office address here. You could do your social media handles, and you could do your phone number, your email address. So we have like a rough sketch of what we want to build. very, very, very low fidelity version of a portfolio website that we want to build. So when you do this, there's something I now call what is your navigation flow. So what are or it's kind of like your site map. So what are the pages you want? Definitely we're gonna have home page. We're gonna have maybe like an about page that you tell the story of your life, how you were given birth to, and how an apple fell on your head and you realize this website you want to build with your life, that kind of stuff. So home, about, a portfolio, like a proper portfolio section where you maybe have like all the websites, one by one, the titles, oh this was for this. The contact page might not be necessary. You can put a contact this thing here that redirects here. So we have home, about, portfolio, contact. Simple enough. Fine. Fine. Very, very simple enough. So let's dig in. Now that we've done this, we know the pages we want. So let me just write them so that we don't forget. Uh, home, home, about, portfolio, contact, or higher. Or, you know, if you have like a Google form that you have, like I do, my company does. I have a form we give clients to fill before we start a project, like a project questionnaire form. You could include this in your navigation. You just do a Google form, put it there, put the link, let them go there. So stuff like that. So now we can now jump in. Now after I do this, I now start asking myself some design questions. You know, what fonts do I want to use? What colors am I doing? What's my style guide going to be like? What am I doing in terms of graphic? What's the feel of the website? Is it going to be a minimal website? Is it going to be you should have even asked yourself some of these questions before you start. So, but let's skip all that. Um, Next thing is, okay, fonts. You will go to Google Fonts and get some fonts. Colors. We'll play around and see some colors. What else? Font colors. Yeah, that's the major. Then layout. What's your layout like? We already have like a rough. So now there are several ways to get started. Instead of writing your index.html, CSS files, everything, there's a wonderful tool called H5BP, HTML5 boilerplate. Yeah, HTML5. You could just Google H5BP to come up. You know, this is it. That's taking me to get. Excuse me, please. HTML5 boilerplate, the web's most popular front end template. Basically, it's not that it's done any work for you, but it has kind of set up like a structure for you. I like to use it when I'm building from scratch. You can download it. Then we open up our IDE. IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment, if I'm correct. You can use any IDE you want. I am using Komodo Edit, which is a free IDE. I love using PHP Storm, but PHP Storm isn't free. It's about $90 or so per year, which is very cheap. Or you can use Sublime Text. I like Komodo Edit. I don't know, for some reason I don't like Sublime. So we've downloaded our HTML5 boilerplate. Now this is kind of like a low level starting point. Yeah, what's this? Embarrassment. This is like a low level starting point. Another very good way to get started is to start bootstrap.com. They have some templates already done that you can just go in, make changes to their HTML, CSS, and you're good. And it's not like there are some sites that I've done that I used start bootstrap. Yeah, let me show you one site I've done that I used. Oh no, no, no. Don't let me expose my client. So themes, all themes and all templates and themes. So you see some quite nice ones. You know, these are templates and yeah, templates they've already done that you could just get started with instead of writing your own thing all over again. And just so you know, we're going to be using Bootstrap in this project. We're going to be using Bootstrap. Bootstrap is a front end framework. Um, that's true. I should have included it in the prerequisites. Bootstrap is a front end framework that's used for building. They've already taken care of a lot of stuff for you, like responsiveness, your read, your mobile navigation, so many things, even down to JavaScript, things like tabs, modals. You know, so many things have been taken care of when using Bootstrap. So I'm gonna take a break at this point and I'll come back. So let me just pause this. Okay, so I'm back. Um, we stopped at start Bootstrap. Yeah. Okay. So we were talking about how to use a Bootstrap template that has been done by Start Bootstrap for a website we're going to build. Now, I wouldn't like to go straight to using a Start Bootstrap template because that would be like defeating the purpose of prototyping. Now, you could use templates and it, which is something I've also done a number of times. Get a template even on Theme Forest. I don't buy WordPress themes most of the time, but I buy templates and make it into the front end I want, then build a theme out of it. Now you could use a theme that is already a template that is already existing, and you know make your CSS changes, your layout changes, then um then you're good. So this is one I've used a whole lot of times, and trust me, if you see what I did with it, you'll never know I used this because the difference is just too much. Just too much. The difference is much. You wouldn't know. And just to prove that it is just a starter template, I'm going to show you what I did. Uh, this is a website that I did, and it's online. You might be able to see no, no, you really can't see similarities. This is you've seen the template, right? And this is the website I built using that template. So you see that it's not similar in any way. You know, I totally everything has totally changed. There's no similarity, almost no similarity. On this project, I work with a very wonderful graphics designer, SAW Stephen DeBC. You know, it did a prototype uses Corel Draw, by the way. So a lot of graphic designers also use Corel Draw to do their prototypes. You know, it did the mock-up with Corel Draw sent to me. Then I bounced off with this template as a starter template and came up with this. It looked exactly like what he had in mind, and it's so you can see that there's almost, in fact, don't let me say almost, there's no similarity between where I got to and where I started from. So in some cases you could start. And why would you want to do that? Well, basically a lot of things have been defined, you know, in terms of bootstrap menu and all that. A lot of things have been defined. Why I don't like it and why I wouldn't totally advise you go this way is it can make your site bloated, you know. A lot of styles you don't need, clashes. I only do that in rare cases, or in cases where I feel okay, what I'm trying to do is very similar to what is already available. So yeah, that is also a way to get started. But since we're using HTML5 boilerplate, we'll just get something very stripped down. Let me look at this. Live preview. Things like the sidebar is usually defined. They've done maybe the default bootstrap slider. You can just make CSS changes. You can see thumbnails. It just makes life easy. But we're not going to do any of that. We'll do ours ourselves so that we can know that we really build from scratch. Okay, so where is the there's something I didn't mention before, which is from WYSIWYG tools. That's what you see is what you get, like drag and drop tools that you can use to do your prototype, show your client. You can basically drag and drop an entire website, then export it. They export the HTML and CSS. I heard of these guys. Is it Webflow? Yeah, Webflow. I heard about them. Yeah, and that they are coding. What I have against them is most of the time is the code they produce is usually not so semantic, you know, different errors. But I heard Webflow is very good. I've not tried it, to be honest. I heard about it a few weeks ago. I intend to give it a try. It's not free, of course, but there's a trial. I intend to give it a try. Like this, you can take a look at their website. They claim like, and you see case studies. It's probably going to be very very fast. So let's jump into doing things our own way for now. Okay, so I have the now I'm going to be developing locally, and I know a lot of, especially in our group, a lot of WordPress developers or WordPressers in general just go online, use Softaculous to install a template or a theme and just make edits. They've never developed locally. I'm going to be developing locally, so I'm going to show you how. Let me first extract my boilerplate. When you download HTML5 boilerplate, it's going to give you a file you need to extract. Okay, so you can see there's already a folder structure. They've done your CSS folder for you, your document folder for you, your IMG folder for you, your JavaScript folder. If you're going to be using Git, they've done a Git ignore file. If you're going to be using htaccess, they've put an htaccess file, a file.html file, even a default favicon, your robots.txt file. They've just done a lot of stuff already, which is quite good. So let me go back. I'm going to rename this sample, what should we name it? Mockup. Let's call it mockup site, right? I'm going to copy it into my htdocs. Now, what is htdocs? I was talking about building websites locally. Now, if you want to build website locally, especially WordPress websites, for what we want to do, we don't need the local server since it's just HTML, CSS, JavaScript files that we're going to be dealing with. But since we are WordPress devs, you need a server to run PHP. There are languages that are front end languages, there are languages that are server side languages. HTML, CSS, JavaScript can run in the browser, but languages such as PHP, which WordPress is based on, cannot run on the server. Run in the browser. Cannot run in the browser. HTML, CSS, JavaScript runs on the browser. You don't need a server for it. So if you're going to be doing WordPress sites locally, and I like to do this locally, you'll need to download an Apache server. And the most popular, the one I use, is XAMPP. XAMPP, they have versions for and it's free. You can just go download and you're good. I already have it installed, and that's why I can use it. So the exam, there's MAMP, there's WAMP. MAMP is for Mac and WAMP is for Windows. I think they now have versions of some longer platform dependent and longer. So I heard. So if you're a Windows user, you can download WAMP server. I personally use XAMPP and I suggest download XAMPP. XAMPP works perfectly well. Then you can download MAMP. This is not a tutorial on how to do XAMPP or MAMP or whatever, how to use local servers. If you Google, I've already given you pointers. You'll see how to do that. So let's assume you installed XAMPP. There's a folder called htdocs, right? There's a folder called htdocs where you can access your website through. So I'll just go to localhost mockup site, and voila, we can lol, this is HTML5 boilerplate. That's what the index.html file says. In the WordPress meetup I will be having on June 10, which is tomorrow by the way, I'm going to dive much deeper into how to develop locally. So just stick with me for now. Um, so mockup site. I'm going to open this project in Komodo. Okay, so let's go to this view, go to XAMPP, and go to htdocs and mockup site, and make this folder. So this is our folder. Yeah, I'm able to put it here in the folder view of Komodo. Now you can just open your files one by one if you want to. That's also fine. So let's start with our index.html, which is here. Okay, index.html. Now, um, what's it called? HTML5 boilerplate comes with some sample HTML. This is a Google Analytics script. This is the head. You can see the character set, um, all that title, all this demo content. Let's delete this Google Analytics because we won't be adding one. Let's remove that. And let's see the script that they've already done for us. Um, file icon directory. Okay, so they've added a CSS file called main.css and it's in the CSS folder. If you come here, you see that in the CSS folder there's a main.css. So this is where we'll write our CSS. You have some demo content already in there. Well, you can continue using it or you can just clear everything out and start afresh. Basically what they've done here is just define some basic styles like a default styling. You notice you'll see color, this is black, font size 1 em, some pretty much default styling. I'm gonna leave all that and just make some spaces. Uh, and I'll come here and write start of my custom CSS. Start of my custom CSS. Okay, this is a comment for those of you who might not know. To make a comment, you just need to do control and forward slash on Komodo edit, and a lot of other IDs also take that command. me in the comments. So we have something blank. This is our body tag. Um, this is if less than L, if less than IE8. This shows up. Hello world. This is HTML5 boilerplate, which is what we saw in our browser. Hello world. This is HTML5 boilerplate. So we have a pretty simple setup. Now let's start coding properly. Let's start putting in our own content. So the first thing is we have, where is our paint mockup? First thing we want to do is we want to have a navigation, right? We'll take it from bottom. Now from what we have there's nothing here, but we will want to first add bootstrap. So I told you this project we're going to be using bootstrap, which is a front end framework. So we would first, it's best we first add bootstrap here. That's in our link. We should link to bootstrap and add also, if you're going to be using the JavaScript, you should add bootstrap as a dependency. So if you use Bower, you can just use Bower to get your bootstrap. But let's just go to bootstrap site to download bootstrap. Okay, download bootstrap. Okay, so we have bootstrap downloaded. Sorry, I'm not going to go into the basics of bootstrap, but it's like I said earlier, it's a front end framework and it's pretty easy to use. If you just go through the documentation, you can check online for simple introductory bootstrap tutorials, and I'm sure you'll see a lot. Okay, so this is a bootstrap. Let me open a new window. HTC docs mockup site. Okay, so I want to get the bootstrap CSS. And the bootstrap theme.min.css. I'll copy those two and paste it in my CSS folder, since I'm going to be using that. Then for JavaScript, I want to copy the bootstrap.min.js. You can just go ahead and copy the minified version. You don't have to. When you see min, that means it's the minified version of, which is usually lower in size. If you notice, this 37 kilobytes, this 69 kilobytes, the expanded version. I don't do any. It's not good to do any edits on um on Bootstrap itself. You can do your override somewhere else, but it's not good to edit. So you can just get the minified version and you're good. So we've got some Bootstrap in our folders. Now, sorry I closed the window. You should have noticed that there was also a fonts folder where it said Bootstrap. So there's also a font folder. A Bootstrap uses glyph icons by default. I don't like using glyph icons. I like to use font awesome. Glyph icons, font awesome. They are font icons. I'm sure you would have seen icons on some sites. Let me show you what font awesome is. So you can see all these icons. You can get them with let me close this. You can get all these icons with font awesome. by just entering. You don't have to draw anything, you don't have to download any image, by just entering um, HTML, and it pops out an icon. So I'm going to download. I'm going to download the font also. Let me extract it. Yes. So font also comes with the CSS files, the fonts, the less, the SCSS. We are not using less or SAS, so we can just skip all that and focus on the CSS and fonts, which are very important. So just like Bootstrap and almost any other plugin, you'll see that there's a CSS file and there's a min.css. So let me copy the min.css, paste my own CSS folder, then the fonts. So since I don't have a font folder in my project, I'm just going to copy the entire font folder and paste here. So I have my font, and you can see it's the same structure with what they have in their own folder structure, so it's going to work straight up. Now all I would need to do is to add my min.css in my HTML file, in my index.html file. So now I have quite a number of files to add. So you could just copy like the way they did this normalize, paste. But yeah, you're right. Instead of normalize.css, we want to add bootstrap.min.css. You do another one. Yeah, you can add bootstrap.theme. Oh, sorry, hyphen theme.min.css. Do another one. Here we add font awesome.min.css. And we're good. We've set up all the CSS files that we're using. Let's go to JavaScript. Now, JavaScript is usually at the bottom of the body, before the end of the body tag. And of course, that's because when a page is loading, CSS is required for the page to load very well, for you to see the styles. But while it's still loading, you don't want the page can load without JavaScript. If you put JavaScript at the top here, there's all these script tags. That means the page will have to wait for JavaScript, all these JavaScript files to download before it displays the page, which can affect your page load speed. So it's good to keep your script at the bottom. Sorry. So let's and always make sure you declare jQuery. Excuse me. Always make sure you declare jQuery first. Some people even say put jQuery in your head. I don't think that's necessary, but make sure you declare jQuery first before any other thing. So yeah, we duplicated this main.js, but I'm just going to reference bootstrap.min.js, and we're good. Now we've gotten all our dependencies. We can now start coding. We can toggle this to close this. I'll just create some space. Okay, let's enter a title. We call it my portfolio mockup. Close this. So now, first thing is the nav. But before then, there's something we're forgetting. What font are we using? So let's go to Google Fonts That'll be fonts.google.com. And pick some, choose some really nice fonts to use. Now you see serif. There are serif fonts. This is an example of a serif font. Anytime you see a font that doesn't have all this, okay, this is sorry, this is a serif font. Fonts that have all these extensions at the tips are serif fonts. Are serif fonts. Um, Fonts without them are sans serif font. Sans is actually a an English word that means without. So without serifs, that's what sans mean. If you notice this, there are no extensions at the tips. If you notice, so basically, then we have display fonts, we have handwriting fonts. Let me just show you what we have. Okay, let's take everything out. Serif fonts. You can see all the serif fonts. They all have, this is a style, a particular font type, right? The type of font. You can see all of them looking pointed. We take this out and we choose only sans serif. You can see all of them with straight ends. No, I don't know what they are called, but no this thing at the tip of the letters. We take this out and do display. And this is kind of like a uh, stylized way of writing, a stylized font. Then we have handwriting, which is a family of fonts that look like handwritings. Yeah, and we have monospace, which is, I don't even know what this is, but it's monospace. I've never used monospace fonts before. It's been nice to try one out. Okay, so now that we know the kind of fonts we have, let's use. I like sans fonts personally. I would like us to use, I think, a handwriting font, and a sans font. So let's look for a very nice handwriting font. I'm liking this. Now you can type and see what your font looks like. About us, contact us. I think I really like this one. It's called Satisfy. If I click this plus button, it has selected that font family. Then let's look at sans fonts. I really like this one. Railway is like my favorite font of all time. Um, but I've used it so much that I don't think I'm going to use it again. Another thing that is always good to note is check how many styles, what kind of the weights of the font. Weight is how thick the font is, how thick it is. What's the font weight? This one has just 400 and 700, and I think I would like something a little bit lighter. Okay, I think I'm going to use process. Don't mind me, this is how I always do on every project. I'm always very confused on which fonts to use. I'm always very confused. There are just so many beautiful fonts out there that it's difficult to choose. Wow, there's so much. I've not used this one before, and I think I'll go for this Ebel. Okay, so once you've selected the font you want, I'm going to use just two fonts in this project, and I advise you don't use more than that. Now you could choose, if you choose a font that has several font weights, you could check which ones you want to use. This font I'm using, they have just one. And you can see it says that my load time is fast, so that is a good thing. So come to the embed, then select think. Let's go to our Komodo edit. Then let's go to our head and add this, and that loads our font. And now this font is available in our CSS. We can use it. If you check, it will tell you how to use it. So let's say you want to use it on a P tag. You can say font family is Abel, font family is Satisfy, things like that. Let me copy this and quickly define it. I usually like to use a particular font family for all my headers and a particular font family for my paragraphs. So let me quickly make that definition here. Let me just paste this. I'm gonna put it correctly. I'll say H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, H6, and I'm going to use this font family for that. Then I would say body P. I'm going to use this font family for that. Now, so we defined our font. Now we need the navigation because we're doing a top-bottom approach. This navigation, right? We've also not chosen colors, but let's start. Now let's go to the Bootstrap documentation. Let's look for navbar. So this is an example navbar. It shows us the code used to achieve this navbar. So I'm just going to copy that. Click copy. And it has copied to my clipboard, and I'm going to make edits in my code editor. So if I paste this here, my nav has been pasted. Wait, where did this thing start from? Okay. Uh, wasn't indented properly. Yeah, this is how it should be indented. Don't mind me, I may not for indentation. I like indenting my code properly. Okay. It helps you code better if you indent properly. Okay, so we have this container fluid. We have navbar, which is the navbar we're gonna have. Div class is container fluid. Um, brand toggle. This is what toggles your. This is what toggles your what's it called? On mobile display, the hamburger menu. This is what displays it. Navbar brand. If you look at what they have here, this Navbar brand is where your logo is meant to be. Now, let's back up a little bit. There are two types of containers in Bootstrap. There's container fluid, which is the full width, and there's the main container, which is kind of boxed. Let me see. Where's container here? I think they should have explained what container, but you can go through You can go through the Bootstrap documentation. You'll see what container does and what container fluid does. So now I want mine to be. Let's save this and see what it looks like in our website that we're building. Let's go back to our own. You can see we have exactly what they had, and see our font has taken effect. You can see this font is the font we defined already. Our fonts are taking effect, which is exactly what we want. Now I don't want it to be container fluid. I want it to be container, but I want it to be close together. I want it to be boxed. Okay, yeah, this is more like what I want. So I'm not going to be using any drop down, so I'm just going to delete all this. Let me close this other tab so they don't disturb us. Okay, so we need a logo. Let's look for sample logo. So let's check some sample logos. Okay, I like this one. I like this one. So let's save this. Okay, I'm going to use this picture. Let me crop it in Photoshop. You can use any software for this. You can even use Paint. I just want to make sure I crop the exact. Oh, sorry. Yeah, let's save this. Now we have a new picture, so we're gonna copy it to. Going to copy it to our project. Now we have an IMG folder which is for images, and we'll call it logo.png. Very good. So now in our Komodo edit, this is our brand. We'll put an IMG tag. Change the source to, that's it there. IMG slash logo.png. Let's save. Refresh. And yeah, we have it. So it's showing, but it's not showing properly. And that's because it's extending past its bounds. Now a very good way to fix it is to put a bootstrap class called img responsive on the image. That makes an image fit into its container and expand as the container grows. So img hyphen responsive. We save this and refresh. Sorry, oh, it's still not fixed. Let me see what the problem could be. Now, if you are going to be building websites, you have to be very familiar with the inspector. Like on the IMG. Okay. Okay. I think the problem here is this navbar is extending past past the bounds we want. So let's put a width. Let's say width, or better still, maximum width should be, let's try 200 pixels. That's more like it. Uh, okay, I think we can settle on 150 pixels. 150 pixels seems to be alright. But even still, we can see it's coming down past this place. So if we inspect it, you can see the padding. The padding is the problem. Um, if you scroll down, you see now a brand has a padding of 15 pixels, 15 pixels. Let's change that to 10 pixels. Bring it down to 5. That seems to work very well. So now we'll just say, we'll go to our CSS and overwrite that default bootstrap style and say dot navbar brand, max width is 150 pixels and the padding is 5 pixels. We save that and refresh. It's taking time to load because we have some things online that we are fetching every time, which is the Google font and I think our jQuery. So the internet is making it slow. But I think we can assume that it has finished loading. So now we still have some things we are not using here. Hi guys, I'm sure you can notice the change of scenery. I had to go to the office. So we're about to do our navigation. So we need to take out all this and use just, from our mockup, our nav links are to the right. So let's jump into our code editor. Go to the index.html file and now this navbar header is where the logo is. Let's close this. Then we have collapse, navbar collapse. Uh, okay. Um, okay, so we have the form, navbar left. We're going to delete this. This is what contains all the form items, this and this. I'm going to take this out. All I need is the um, all I need is the navbar right. In Bootstrap, navbar right takes your nav to the right side. Navbar left takes it to the left side. So I'm going to delete this. Where is it going? Sorry, I'm just going to take this out. This navbar nav is what contains this link and this drop down. So if you see link, you see the drop down menu. Let's take this out. Yeah. Okay, so now we are left with the nav by the right. Let me save and refresh. So we are left with this. Sorry. So now if I come here, I can see this list item that contains the drop down, which I don't need. I'm going to delete that out too. Then I'm left with just this link. We're going to have 4 navbar links, so I'm going to duplicate this 4 times and Control D. Okay. Oh boy. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now this will be home about portfolio contact. Home about portfolio contact. Yes. Yeah, that's the way we want it. Now let's play around with the font sizes. I think this font size is way too small. And I also like us to check out the option of using the other font, that's the display font we selected for the heading items on the nav. Let's see what that looks like. Um, so I'm going to inspect this and I'll come down to, I'm looking for where the font size, where the CSS rule for the font size is. Let's see font. Okay, yeah, this is it. Body font size by Bootstrap. It's 14 pixels by default. Okay, 16. I think 18 is perfect. So I'm going to make, since this is on the body tag from Bootstrap, I'm going to go in and go into my CSS and make my body font size 18 pixels. Good. So now, what is next? Okay, let's assume our about page will be about.html, portfolio page will be portfolio.html, and contact page will be contact.html, and this of course will be index.html. I guess you should be familiar with index.html. When you're building websites, the browser automatically picks um, any file called index.html as the default page for the website. So index.html, index.php also works. There's home also works. Home.html, home.php, they both work also instead of index. And I think if you're using ASP.NET or something, or IIS, that's when default also works. I think default.html also works. So, but just use index. Just use index. So what next? Okay, let's define our links. So we go to our index.html file. The href is just hash, but let's change it to index.html. Let's make this about.html. Let's make this portfolio HTML contact.html. Now Next thing is this section. Now I would like us to use a gradient for this, a gradient background for this, and we have an image of a person, maybe you, and this message. But since we are not doing colors yet, I'm going to skip the color and just put the image and this. So now let's look for a person's image. Black person, sample black guy image. I also want a transparent background. Transparent PNG. Oh boy. And black guy. Knowing how to Google properly is a skill, a very, very important skill as a developer. So which of these guys should we go for now? No, this guy's looking too scruffy. This looks like a cool guy. I think, yeah, we could use this one. We could use this one. Okay. Oh, I don't like this lines that it has. Oh, let's use this one. So I'm gonna save this image. Save image as image.png. Uh, okay, this is it. Let me call it me.png. I'm going to copy it into my image folder. You remember the image folder where we put our logo. So now, I want just a square. I want the image of its square dimension. So I'm going to open up Photoshop. You can use Paint though, in case you don't have Photoshop or in case Photoshop is too scary. But it's pretty simple to use. I don't really know how to use Photoshop that much. I just do the basics on it. So this is the crop tool, and I'm going to select square, 1 to 1 square. Yeah, let me reduce this. Yeah, tall dark and handsome guy. Okay, so I think this works. This works. Let's save this, and we're good. Now we want to have a section here with the guy's image here and our message. That's our intro message beneath. So I'm going to open just beneath my nav. And remove this hello world message that we put here. We're going to have img tag. We'll say the source is equal to img slash me.png. Now there's a bootstrap. I want the image to be, from our mockup. The image is meant to be round, and there's a bootstrap class that helps us achieve that called img circle, img-circle. So that is that. Then I'm going to come down and do an h1, h1, and we're going to put in our message here. What's our message? I am a WordPress developer and this is my portfolio website. Okay. Hi, I'm a WordPress developer and this is my portfolio website. That's good. Now I'd like to wrap this in an header tag. Okay, so we have this. Now if we come refresh, can you see the I empty circle? That's made the image circular. This is very, very beautiful. Now we want this centralized, so we're gonna say class text center. That is also a bootstrap class that helps us center content in a div, in a span, anyway. Let's refresh. Yeah, it's looking like it. I think this image is too big, so I'm going to reduce it. Let's play around. Let's say max width is 300 pixels. Okay, that's not way too much. 200. Yes, this is perfect. So I'm going to give it a class. I'll call this image. I'll give it my peak. So I'll come to my CSS, say dot my peak is max width 200 pixels. It's good to use inspect element to play around with your front end before you take the code to the back end. It's actually quite nice. So yeah, it's looking like what we want it to look like. I'm thinking we should increase the font size of the H1 element. Let's say 45 pixels. Yeah, more like it. More like it. Let me reduce it to 42. So we'll go H1 font size 42 pixels. Sorry, pixels. Okay. Yes. Oh, something is wrong. This didn't reduce in size. Let's check. Let's debug. What could be wrong? My peak max width 200 pixels. My peak. So what could be wrong? Let's say img dot my peak. This doesn't seem to be appearing in the code we put. Oh, the class isn't showing here. The class we put here isn't showing. I guess I didn't save my index.html. Let's refresh. Yes. Now, if you notice, this picture is very close to our nav. It's always good to give your sections or your rows breathing space, and you do that by giving it padding. So I'm going to give this header section. I'm going to give it a padding. Wait, I'm going to give it a padding of. Okay, so let's give this padding. Let's say we're giving it a padding of 50 pixels. 0. This is top and bottom. This is left and right. When you write padding like this, that's what it means. Okay, this is looking good. I think I'll increase it to 75. Or let me just make it 60. Okay, this is alright. Yeah, so we now have breathing space. Okay, so let me do that in my. I'm going to give this a class of home header, and also dot home header padding 60 pixels 0. Good. Okay, so what's the next section that we need to do? Okay, projects that we built. Yeah, next is projects we built. um, hmm. Okay, so now I'm going to use section. It's an HTML tag section. Okay, and inside I'll do an h2 built and class. I'm going to give this text center too. I want everything centered. Then we are going to have images here. Then let's put this in a div first, and we'll call it class portfolio thumbnails. It's good to always give semantic names to your classes. Don't just say PT, PH, that's Port Harcourt. Do something that when somebody sees, they understand what it is. They don't need to even see your website to understand what your website is saying by reading your code. Do you get? Portfolio thumbnails. Anybody who read this will know that this is a div that contains thumbnails of your portfolio of websites you've done. Okay, if you notice, I've been trying to give semantic names, home header, my peak, stuff like that. Okay, so what content are we gonna have there? Okay, I've built them. We have images. Now let's look for sample images. Okay, say sample website screenshots. Images. Man, all the sites are too ugly for us to say we built them. Why is Google not giving us interesting, fine-looking websites? Okay, this is looking good. Yeah, this is a nice screenshot. Yeah, this is a nice one. Let's save this. Desktop jobs template. Too ugly, too ugly, too ugly, too ugly, too ugly. Oh man, all of them ugly now. Okay, let's go with this too. Please don't build any website that looks like this. So this is wobbly. Let's do this one too. No way. Wow, this is beautiful. I hope this is not a real website, chat. Now I want samples. I don't want anybody to arrest me. Okay, this is good. this looks good, but it seems like a real website. Man, this looks ugly, bro. I think we used this one already, right? I really shouldn't be wasting time on this. Let's just pick something and use. Okay, this looks nice. Okay, now we have 4. I want us to go to 8. I want us to have 8. Oh, this is unclear. It's not very. Okay, this makes it 5. This is not clear. This makes it 6. 2 more, 2 more, 2 more. This makes it 7. I think we can stop here. Okay, so we have 7 screenshots. Now the challenge with images is I personally I hate when I have images that are not of the same dimension. Now since we are WordPress developers and we build CMSs for clients, sometimes you may not be able to constrain a client to a particular dimension. If you tell them, oh, just put only 500 by 500 pixels here, the client doesn't know Photoshop. They can't start copying images up and down. So you might either want to make your design able to accommodate any dimension and use CSS to constrain it, or if you are managing the website, then you can make sure you ensure dimensions. Websites with images of equal dimensions are always very, very neat, and we're going to try and achieve that with the images that we just downloaded. So I think let's go to downloads. Where are these things? Sorry, looking for the images. Okay, it should be on the desktop. Okay, these are the images. Okay, I'm going to copy all of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just 6. Okay, I'm going to copy all of them. I'm going to move it to my IMG. But I'm going to put it in a portfolio. I'm going to put it in a folder called portfolio. So let's just call this 1, call this 2, call this 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Why is this showing? we have this 2, 3, 4, 6. I'd like us to use okay, for now let's just copy everything and use in our project. So let me just go to my Komodo edit. These are the pictures here. Now Bootstrap is a great system, has a great system that you can use, to I don't want to go into the details of how Bootstrap works, but you can divide your website into columns. Let me show you a quick example of what I mean. You can see here you have 2 columns. This is what Bootstrap helps you do that. In case you want to have 1, 2, 3, or you want to split content and you're using Bootstrap. If you go through the Bootstrap documentation to the section where I think if you go down to grid, you look for grid, you will see the Bootstrap grid system, and it's properly explained in their documentation. I don't want to go too much into that now, but I'm going to define a container. I'm going to define a container here. In this section, I'm going to do a div class container. Then after having a container, you have to have a row. That's the way Bootstrap works. Row. Then we can now have our columns. Now we can put this outside our container and bring this into our container. Or instead, we could just copy this class and put it inside here. Okay, so now let's put in our images. So we're going to define a Bootstrap column. I think we should do four images. How did we draw it in our low fidelity mockup? Okay, yeah, 4. So Bootstrap uses a 12 column grid. So we'll call this column SM, or better still, column MD4. 3, sorry. Column MD3. Now the reason for this is Bootstrap uses a 12 column grid. We are saying this column should take up 3. That means 12 divided by 3 will give you 4. That means in a row we can have 4 of this, and if we have more than 4, they're going to drop down to another row. To demonstrate what I mean, let me just go ahead and show you how this works. Class. Can you remember the IMG responsive I mentioned the other time? I'm going to use it here. IMG responsive. So that our image fits its container. Then the image source is going to be img/portfolio/1.jpg. I'm going to repeat this 6 times for the 6 images we have. It should be a duplicate function. Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. So we're just going to change the numbers on this. 2, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we now have this. Let's see what that looks like in our browser. Let me close this. Sorry. Yeah. Looking not exactly what we want it to look like, but we're getting there. So I've built this, and this. Now this thing is, and this is why you should have equal dimensions. This is why you should have equal dimensions. You can see these things are meant to be floated to the right, but because this image is taller, it's having a clash. So now we're going to open Photoshop and we're going to make all these images equal dimensions. We'll just crop them. I like the way this one is laid out. Let me see the dimension it takes up. Okay, it says 262 by 1.189. Multiply that by 2, that's like 500 by 200 by 400. So let's do 500 by 400. Make all our images 500 by 400. Oh, sorry. Photoshop and PHP Storm, their icons kind of look alike. I always get confused. Okay, so I'm gonna start with IMG with the first one. I'll open my crop tool, come to width height resolution, and I'll say 500 by 400. Yeah, this is not quite neat, but doesn't matter. I just doing a sample here. So now also be very careful with your image sizes. You don't want images that are too big that will make somebody will just recharge 10 MB on his MTN line. I swear for you. So always try and make sure you minimize the image sizes so that you don't finish consume data. In Nigeria, data is everything. Okay, let's pick up to 500 by 400. Save this. Let's take 3. 500 by 400. Save this. Now you always try and get as the maximum size you can get. You can see I was increasing the quality in this case, and that's because where it was before, it's still under 100 KB, so that's fine by me. 103 KB is fine by me. As a rule, it's never have an image that is above 400 KB on your website. I don't care how big the image is, even if it's like the main banner. Don't have any image less than 400 KB. Then if you have like a gallery, like you can see on our own page now, we're having several images. We're having six images apart from the image of the guy. So consider the entire page load. So pages that have a lot of pictures, you want to make sure the size, the file size of those images are very low, as low as possible, that doesn't compromise quality. And there are a lot of wonderful tools out there that you can use. You can use Photoshop to reduce the image dimensions. And you can also use there's this tool I use called Accent Convert that also works very well. This is it here, Accent Convert. Oh, okay. This image isn't gonna really work so well. Do this. Okay, so we're done with our images. Now they are all the same. Did we do this one? me check. Properties or details. No, we didn't do this one. Five hundred by 400. No, not so neat for. Oh, good. Okay, now let's refresh. Something is still going on here. This image seems to be bigger than the other ones. I'm going to inspect to see what is wrong. Wow, how did we miss this one? Oh, okay. The mistake we made was we're 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 affecting the resolution, not the. But that shouldn't be a problem though. Because let's see, 262.5 by 210, 262.5 by 210.1. Haha, you can see that point one made all the difference. This next one is 262.25 by 210. So let's go and look at this image. Something is wrong. Second one, I believe. Oh, okay, it's still giving us problem. I'm just going to delete it and get another one instead. That's too low for us. Okay, I'll wait for this to load. Then we save. Save images. Let's see if we can get like 3 other ones. Okay, that's enough. Let me quickly look through. I can't seem to find. Okay, look at them. Okay, so let's make this 2.jpg. Let's make this 7.jpg. This is a PNG file. Yeah, so we're good. We're good, we're good, we're good. Since we added one, let's go and add one more. We added one image, so let's reference it. Yeah, let's make it 7. But remember, it's a PNG, so we'll just say 7.png. Yeah, I'm gonna refresh. Yes, and this is what I want. Now, this is beautifully laid out. It's a site we have built. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, I would not like it to be like this. I would like it to be a slider. If you notice what we have here, it's meant to be a slider, and there should be a button to view all. That takes us to a portfolio page. But we'll leave that for now, and we'll go to create a new section. Section people giving us money. In fact, that's what we're going to call it, people giving us money. This is meant to be our client section, but we're going to change it to wonderful people that enrich our pockets. Okay, so div class. We're going to make it a container too. Container div class role div. This is the bootstrap way of doing things that we're following. Now, we want where is our mockup? We want this to be a slider too. We want this to be a slider too. People that we've built projects for. Let's assume um, we have like 20 clients. We need to source these images. So let me just source for those images. So I've gotten a couple of images, a number of images of logos for clients that we've worked for that section. So we're going to include them. I've numbered them, and I've also taken the liberty to resize them and make sure all of them have the same height. You can remember what I said about images with the same dimension are always very, very good. So if you can do that for your client, then go ahead to do that. If you can't, then you can just make sure your design can accommodate for varying dimensions. Okay, so um, I'll go ahead and the so we've done the container with so I also added this clients who make me rich, as the title of the section. So we'll do class column SM4 column MD2. This means that take 2 columns on medium screen sizes and 4 columns on small screen sizes. It's taking 2 columns on medium screen sizes, 12 divided by 2, that means we're going to have 6 on a row. So we'll just do img class img responsive and source. Sorry, the source is going to be img clients 1.png. Like I said, let me just duplicate this. We have 11 images, so I'll just duplicate it 11 times. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So I'll make this 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, one more. 11. Good. So we have 11. Let's check out what that looks like. Browser. Yeah, so this is what it looks like. Find to make me rich. And yeah, so we have one more section to do, and that is our contact us and our social media section. So let's give this some space. These sections, let's define a default padding for sections. Notice it's kind of close to, because of everything is white, you're not seeing that. This space that you see up here is from this first section. So let's give this ones to, let's give them a padding. So we'll just say section padding is 50 pixels. So yeah, this is looking more like it. Yes. Let me just copy this and put in my CSS. Yeah. Then we have one more section. Now these two sections are going to be sliders that are going to be sliding. So I'd like to also give the H2 some space. So let's say section H2 should have a margin bottom of 30 pixels. Yeah, it looks better. Okay, so what's next? Our footer section. So let's come here. It's not really a footer, like I said, we're not gonna have a footer for this website. Um, yeah, I want it to be full width, so I'm going to use container fluid. Remember when I explained what a container is and what container fluid is in Bootstrap? Container fluid gives it a full width. Container is kind of more like a um, boxed container. Okay, so row with, we're going to have two sections divided into two. This is going to contain our contact from this container, address, social media icons, phone number, and email address. Okay, the class from SM6, the class from SM6. We're gonna have a form here. We can go and get Bootstrap's form. Let's get Bootstrap's form. Okay, so this is a sample form in Bootstrap. Line form, horizontal form. This is in W3 schools. Oh, I thought I'll say it on the Bootstrap website itself. Okay, let's take the one on the B3 schools. Okay, let's just pick this one. Always indent properly to save yourself future headaches. Okay, so from group email address, label. Now, what we want them to enter is their name. Let me duplicate this for name. I'll say name, 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 name. Okay, class from control. Oh, type text. By text box, you use type text. If it's an email address, you can use email. I don't think we need a password field. We definitely don't need checkbox. So name, email, I think message. Name, email, message, type. Now, we'll use a text area here. Text area. Name is text area. Messages. Oh, sorry. ID. I like to add ID message. So we have this working now. So let's see what this looks like. Oh, beautiful. I didn't change this to. Now, I'm going to be very sincere with you. I hate seeing labels, even though it's semantic HTML. What our advice is you add a class. There's a Bootstrap class for screen reader. In Nigeria, I know we are not so concerned about accessibility, but it's always good to know that not everybody who is using your website is. Some people are disabled and are using websites, so they rely on screen readers. You know, it's blind people and the sort. So it's not good to like if you are writing semantic HTML. Even though you don't use a label, it's good to add it. Even I myself am guilty, but it's good to. I think in the US it's a crime not to write semantic HTML on your website. If there's I've forgotten the code. There's something they call the chat, but your website has to be accessible. Has to be able to be used by disabled people. So if not, you could be fined and stuff like that. So there's a Bootstrap class for screen reader text, but we'll just say Eden. Let's just put it an Eden. Sorry, let me quickly search for Bootstrap screen reader. Bootstrap screen reader text class. Okay. I hope this gives us good results. Yes, even I use Google. Nobody can survive without Google. A lot of developers are Google developers. They learn how to develop through Google. So there's no shame in Googling anything you have a problem with. You can't keep everything in your head. My internet seems to be very slow, so I'm just gonna skip that for now. I think Eden should work just fine, I'm not sure. There's a wonderful tool called Zio. It's like an offline documentation viewer that I don't have to always go online if I want to remember what the A tag is for or how to write CSS transforms, stuff like that. So I'm just, oh, I don't have Bootstrap listed as a library. Okay, let's just, if you're a Mac user, you can use Dashes, although it's not free, but it's quite cheap. I think it's about $29 or so. Okay, this isn't loading. Okay, SR only, yeah, that's the class. SR only. Screen reader only. Yeah, class SR only. Fine. So you can see the labels are off. Now, if you're not using labels, then you should definitely use placeholders. So I'm going to use placeholder. I'll write your name, placeholder, your email, placeholder, your message. And I'm going to change this submit button to send. So we're good. Name your email. For some reason, the placeholder on this doesn't seem to be opening up. Oh. You can't see our placeholder here. I wonder why that is. Okay, so I discovered the reason why the this wasn't showing up was, funny enough, I've never noticed that before. This is the correct way to write a text area if you want your placeholder to show. You put a BR immediately after, and placeholder would come up. And you make sure you close this before we add it like this. Apparently, it's meant to be closed. Okay, so that does it for that. So the next section we need is, but I don't like the way this form is just so big. Let's try and say max width of 50 pixels. Let's say 400 pixels. Yeah, looks more like it. Now let's make sure this section. Okay, so let's let's say this form has a max width of 400 pixels. So let's say section form max width of 400 pixels. Then in our HTML, let's make sure this is centered as text center. Okay. Our form isn't moving, so I think we could do zero auto. This will work. That is a very wonderful way to center block level elements. Same margin, then zero auto. Not to center anything as long as it's not floated. Then the next thing is we want our text area to be 100%. If you notice, it's not as wide as the other form elements. Text area with 100%. Let's see what this looks like. Yeah, I like it. So let's put a nice little image, nice little message there. So we'll say H2, sorry, I just say an H3, send me, drop me a message. And yeah, we're gonna have, what do we want to have here again? Our address, social icons, and this. Okay. So here we would say the first line, let's say div, sorry. I do believe there's an HTML tag of address. Yes. Address, we'll say our address is, what's my address? Number 21. Now this is when we know people who know streets in Banana Island and those who don't. I don't know any street on Banana Island, so let me say Bodilon Road, Ikoyi. Okay, Lagos. Then another div for my social icons. I believe that's next. So I'm going to use font awesome. Thank God we already have font awesome. And font awesome is so easy to use. You just call an I tag class. For Facebook, it's you first do FA, then FA and the name of the icon you want. So that's for Facebook. Say Twitter, GitHub, which other one is there? Instagram. Now these are meant to be, sorry, I should have wrapped this in an A tag. Okay, wrap this in an A tag. me just do this. Okay, and this will have href. Let's not link it to anywhere for now. Let's just put, sorry, let's just put ash. Okay, then we have phone number and email, another div. Phone number, I think I can put my phone number, 070. Please don't call me on 2626158. Href, tell. Now this is a very nice way to make people be able to call you by clicking on the link. This, in your href, you put this tell, then you write your number 26261. So when people click it, especially if it's on a mobile phone, they can call you immediately. Then we're going to put our email address. My email is mail@boladeogunforwater.com. And I'll do, this is also going to trigger what's it called? Whatever mail client the person is using, so they can send you a mail directly. So this is good. Let's see what it looks like. Okay. Now the truth is, okay. Let's put in a message here. H3. I will say, reach me at oh my. Yes. So now the truth is, this is good enough to show a client as a mockup. You know, we are not, the name of the tutorial is building mockups in the browser, not building websites in the browser, right? So as far as the mockup goes, this is good enough to show a client you're building a website for that this is the mockup of your site, and we can go ahead and put in colors and all that, but I think we should skip that so that this tutorial is not 3 days long. But this is good enough. This is good enough. We have the basics of what the website is going to look like. I think we can just, let's just go ahead and style this so that we know that we finished what we're meant to do. Now, you know, I said I would like us to experiment with a gradient background for this section. So let's see. When it comes to colors, there's this wonderful place I like to get my colors from, materialui.co/colors. It's like a color palette of material colors. Now I'm thinking we should stick to the color in this logo, which is kind of red and yellowish. And since we want a gradient background, let's just do a Google search for CSS gradient generator. There are thousands and thousands of gradient generators online. So many good ones too. So many good ones. And to give you your CSS, you don't have to rack your head on how to. Okay, so what colors do we want to use? Since we are sticking to reddish, yellowish, ish. Now, okay, This is a color picker tool I love to use. Pickup color picker. I think it's free. You can do a Google search for pickup color picker. Now I want to pick colors from this logo. I like this lights. This is even more of orange than yellow. Yeah, okay. So it gives you the X version and all the versions you need. I'll just go ahead and dump this in my okay. Let's go back to our peacock. Let's take this one. Um, let's take this one. I think I would like to move this out a bit. Move this out a bit. Way down. Then there's my peacock. Let's take this. Now we can choose the orientation. Radial is not nice. Let's do diagonal downwards. Size. It also asks, are you supporting Internet Explorer or not? I don't know what this size is for. I've never really considered it before. I'm just seeing it for the first time, sir. So it has generated. Now you can switch to SAS. For all the SAS users in the house, please raise your hand up. I'm a SAS user. If you're using SCSS, you can switch to SCSS. But for the purpose of this tutorial, we're using just CSS. So you can click the copy button and you're good. So that has generated our background for us. So if we come to our CSS and we go to that header section and we come in and paste, we come in and paste. Let's see what it looks like. Not bad. Not bad. Not bad at all. Now for this, that's what it will look like if the color was white. Color HFFF. I think this looks better. So let's say H1 color should be HFFF. I don't like this space here, so I'm going to try and move it. What's causing it? Yeah, it should be a padding. we don't want. Position mean height. Okay, margin bottom 20 pixels. Yeah. So we're going to kind of overwrite this style. It's on navbar, so we'll go to our CSS and say that navbar margin bottom 20 pixels. Let's refresh. It's not taking effect. Oh, sorry. Margin bottom 0. Okay. Hi, I'm a WordPress developer, and this is my portfolio website. This guy is finer than me, but here is God. So, sites I have built. Now let's give this section a background. Something very soft. Maybe that one. Let's try. Let's say background. It doesn't look too bad, but I don't think it quite gets. It doesn't fit our site. Let's get something else. Okay, this is more like it. You can keep experimenting until you get something that kind of does it for you. And check this one out. I'm not seeing any difference between all these things. Most all the colors are the same. Let me try this one. I'm liking this. You can change this to whatever format you want. Nah. I don't think I selected that properly. Too deep. I think I'll settle with this one. And this is why I love building in the browser, Rapid iteration. I've built this. Let's check this out. It seems like we're going from one color to a deeper one. I think we should try this. This. And for the bottom, I think I would like to use another gradient. As at this time, we're picking these colors. Oh no, for this, remember we wanted to do two colors. So let's take something real deep. So we will take this background color. This is what I'm talking about. And this, we'll give it a background color. Eh, not looking so good. Is it? Let's just do a deep gradient on this one too. Um, that's the color I picked before this one. I have a clipboard manager I use so that if I copy something, I don't have to, and I copy another thing, it still keeps it for me. So it's very nice. You guys might want to check it out. I've forgotten the name of this one. Ditto, yeah, Ditto. Okay. I think I'll delete this guy. Delete this guy. Put this guy in the middle, 50%. Yeah, horizontal. Yeah. Okay. Let me copy this. Let me delete this. And learning how to use inspect elements is a very priceless tool, especially if you want to be building from scratch. Okay. Not sure I really like it, but I'm gonna just use this. Yeah, I think it's alright. I think it's alright. What do you guys think? Oh, sorry, I know you. Okay. So, I really don't like it. So I think I'm just going to take all this off. And okay, it's not fair enough. Let me save what the work I've done so far. I think this has been saved. Yes. So now that we're putting backgrounds on all this, we have to give it, yeah, we have to give them classes. Yeah, section. Let's give this portfolio thumbnails section. Very long class name. Okay, this is the color we used. Okay, background. This. This one. Background we used. We'll go here. Let's call it client's thumbnail section. Client's thumbnail section. Right, and client's thumbnail section. Oh, yeah. Okay. Now this guy, we've not still decided what to do with this guy. I kind of like the way this is, but I think I'll just rather use a plain deep color. Let me check this out. Or let me use another color entirely. Now, if you notice, we are no longer doing a prototype, we are building an actual website, right? And that goes to prove my point that prototyping in the browser can be really, really close to the finished product that you're going to have. So I hope with these few points of mine I've been able to convince and confuse you that building in the browser is really the way to go. It's really exciting if you're fast and you know what to do. So um, what's the name of that last section? Yeah, let's call this, we could even call it our footer and avoid all the stress. Let's call it our footer. The reason I don't want to call it our footer is if you remember, we still have several other pages to do. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be doing that now. I'm going to do it. I'm going to upload. Um, I'm not going to do a video of how I did it, but I'm going to upload it on our GitHub. On our opening. I'll put it up on GitHub, and I'll have done the other pages. You see them, but I won't do the video because this video is already getting way, way, way too long. Okay, so let's call this contacts section. So we'll say dot contact section background. Yeah, it's looking like it, but we're not done yet. This guy, our drop me a message and da is not showing. So we'll just say, since they are under contact section, we'll just say dot contact section h3. Color is, where is it going to? Color is FFF. Ah, did not work. What is the problem? Okay. Spelling error. Spelling error. Yeah, this is looking nicer. So yeah. Okay, so we have this working now. let's come here, this address, say color FFF, right? Instead of doing all this, we could have just simply, instead of all this multiple FFFs everywhere. Oh, okay, no. I was going to say we should put a color on this section, but I think that will affect the color of these text boxes, which I want to remain black. So we have address, we have a. So I'll come here and say content section each address is color checker. Content section A is color checker. I better still just do this and save yourself some lines of code. Okay. I better still even do this. X. Yeah, there's a proper way. Yes, so we have this. We have this. So it's not perfect. It's not perfect. I'm still going to try and do some things to make it perfect. I think we should do one thing before we end this video, this tutorial, and that is to make this slide. Now there's a wonderful tool called, it's like a jQuery plugin called Slick Slider. I've used it a whole lot of times, and it has a WordPress plugin. I've never used the WordPress plugin since I just code my things myself, but it has a beautiful WordPress plugin that I think you guys should check out. I've never checked it out, but I think the jQuery plugin is nice, so I guess the WordPress plugin will be very nice too. So basically, what it does is it helps us scroll. So I'd like us to achieve this effect. So in order to use it, let's click usage. Set up your HTML. Oh, okay. How do we download? Sorry, I can't remember how to download it. I've used this so many times. I probably don't. Okay, get it now. Yeah, download now. You can see it's also using display fonts like us. So yeah, partner in crime. Okay, downloads. Sleep. Okay. Where is it? Wow. Okay, this is it. Okay. So we have CSS and a JS file. And we have a theme file. So I'm going to copy the theme, the mean.js, and the CSS, the fonts, and maybe the Ajax. In fact, I'm just going to copy this entire folder. I'll go to my project folder. and I'm going to create a new folder called, I usually name it plugins, but because we're WordPress developers and that means something else, I just call it assets and paste this in. So now we need to call in from usage. It tells us that to use this, you need to call in the CSS, the theme.css, and the JS. So let's go and do just that. Let me copy and paste this. See. So let's look for where this is. Assets, lake. So we come here. Say assets slash lake. Then slake.css. Assets slake theme.css. Then if you come here, assets slake.meme.js. Okay, now we have slake in. Now you can read the usage guide to understand better, but it says call, let's assume this is your HTML structure. You call this in your JavaScript file. So we have main.js added to the project for us by HTML5 boilerplate. We've not used it so far. So in order to write, I know I said we wouldn't be using JavaScript. JavaScript isn't a prerequisite, but we're going to use JavaScript just for this purpose. This is how I start my JavaScript project. This means $ means jQuery. By using the jQuery, we've already included jQuery library, and there won't be conflict when it's using the $. So this is like unload of the page, do whatever is inside here. So let's go and copy what this guy said we should do. This is how we start, setting name, setting value. Okay, instead of doing that, we already know what that means. Let's check the demo. I want us to do something like this, slide multiple items, maybe 3 at a time, or we could do 1 at a time. There are several ones, center mode, there are several options, lazy loading, several options. So let's just copy this one for multiple items. Let's paste it here. Let's indent this properly. Okay. Infinite means continue. You have to read the documentation to understand better, but infinite means keep scrolling, slide to show 3, slides to scroll 3. Okay, let's do for our this section. This is our portfolio thumbnail section. In our HTML, where is it? Okay, this is the portfolio thumbnail section. Okay, no, this is it up here. So this row, we call this row portfolio thumbnails. right? And this is what contains all those guys. So we'll come here and we'll change this to portfolio thumbnails. We'll say sleek. We want to display 4. Slice to show 4. Slice to scroll 1. There are some other options I'll be adding. You can see all of them in the documentation of the slider. Arrows through, autoplay, through, autoplay, speed. I set it to 1000. Now let's refresh. Good. And you can see now it stopped when I overed. This is also an option, pause on over. You can set that to true or false if you want. Let's set it to false. Pause on over. I set it to false. Good. Good. Good, 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 good. Clients will make us rich. Let's also do something. They were displaying 6. What is this called? Okay, we didn't put a name on this. Let's call it client thumbnails. Let's go here and change it to client thumbnails. Slice to show 6. Same. Yeah. So this is looking better, much better, and this is looking very, very good. Very, very good. So I think we've come to an end. There are still so many things we could do to, make this better, make it finer. I'd like us to put some space. And just put a BR tag here. Give it a break, Yeah, looks better. Make this clickable. So sorry. We didn't consider that these things will be clicked. Let's just quickly do that. A. Yeah. Then there's an href here. Ash. Let's also give it a class. Portfolio thumb link. I'll come here and repeat this. Okay. Now we've made this an anchor tag that is clickable. It hasn't taken effect. Okay. I'm inspecting. Doesn't seem to be taking effect. I don't know why that is happening. But let's just ignore that for now. So in our CSS, oh, I did it on the wrong thing. Okay, no. Oh, I put it on the client section instead of the. Wow, that's so sad. Let me take it all out. Okay, let me quickly correct this. Yeah, okay, good. Then I'd like to give some styling. Let's say a dot. What do we call that? Class. Yep. Let's say on over. Let's make sure our cursor is a pointer, and let's reduce the opacity 0.6. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, we can see that style, and this thing is very fast. I think we should go back and make sure that it passes on over. Let's remove this pass on over false. Good. I hope you notice this arrow. You can also add dots. That's true. Yeah. Okay. So I think we've come to the end of this tutorial. Now I'm going to upload this on GitHub, and I'll also upload the video on our Facebook page. Well, I'm saying it to you guys, but you guys will already be watching it. Okay. So the code for all this is going to be on. If you are just finding out that the code is on the GitHub page now, you're on a long term because that means you didn't read the instructions before watching the video. So this is going on our Facebook page, and I'm also going to create the other pages. The about page, portfolio, contact is just going to link. Oh, sorry, just going to link down here, and we'll be good. So thank you for sticking with me. If you got to this stage at the video, yeah, when the Bible was describing people with long suffering, it is you they were talking about. You know how to suffer for long. I don't think I can watch this video for this long. You guys are trying. But I think it's for a very good reason. For a very good reason. And I hope you would also go out there and build wonderful websites. Thank you.